What's up everyone, Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7. Now if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I have a V4 4-stroke engine. It's a nitro powered, manufactured by Toyan. It's an awesome little engine, and it's got around about 3.5 horsepower. I'm trying to fit it into a car. Now because of the size, it's a bit difficult, and so you really need to have a custom made chassis, or just Frankenstein something together, and that's what I'm doing. That's what this video, part 2 I guess you could call it, because I want to show you my progress. Now if you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. There's heaps of cool stuff, not just these builds but just normal RC stuff like you see in the background. Heaps of cool fun stuff. But this is the FS100, so this is the single cylinder version. I put that in 2 cars. I actually robbed this one out of the what was it, the Mercedes Actros. Now it's a single cylinder, but pretty much the V4 is 4 of these guys in a V, 2 on either side. Awesome little motor. But this one here is pretty much, when you buy it, you can get it so it's let me see if I can focus. Try to focus on it. There we go. You can get it pretty much in this ready to run state with a clutch bell, clutch, and all that kind of stuff. You can buy the extras. The problem is, for the V4, you can't. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys might follow Johnny Q90. He has one of these, and he is like an RC wizard. He has a lathe and all that kind of cool stuff. He can actually manufacture it, the parts that he needs, like the clutch bell and all the housings, and even this thing. This is what holds the clutch bell that attaches. It keeps focus on my head. That attaches to the flywheel, and then your clutch bell screws into the end of that. Anyway, I'll stop talking, I'll show you what I mean. Now don't laugh, it's all progression here. Now you can see what I have here. Now you can see the rough look of what I'm trying to get at, and the issues that I'm facing at the moment with the motor. So this here, I've cut up, well I'm going to use a 1/8 scale buggy. Now this is a front end of, I think, a ZD racing buggy. Now it's looking a bit high now, but don't worry, if it's a hot rod it's going to be slammed and stuff like that, so it's going to look much better. But just use your imagination for a little bit. These rails obviously aren't going to be that long. I'm going to cut them where I need to. I just left them that long so it gives me a lot of room and adjustment backwards and forwards. So that's the front of the buggy. There is the rear of the buggy. As you can see, it's just a chassis. Now what I plan to do is just cut it roughly where I need it, and then I'll screw from the bottom into that chassis rails up until where I need them. So roughly, give or take, thereabouts. It's hard to do one hand, but you know what you see what I get at. Probably going to cut it to around about here, and then what I'm going to do, I thought this was a pretty good idea. I'll utilise this front section to attach this part from roughly here to the front of the engine, so I can attach the front steering mechanism and the front whole suspension system. So I thought, you know what, that might work. That's a pretty cool idea, and I don't see why it wouldn't work. It's going to be rear wheel drive only, because it's going to be hard to get the clearance for the forward drive for the front diff. Now I'll leave that all in there. You can just free spin, it's not going to be an issue. But I thought, you know what, I could probably manage this whole system. I'm going to cut it off here so I can utilize the points here for the steering as well, and that kind of sorts that out. Obviously not as easy as that, but it's just easier than fabricating a whole new setup. It's not going to be a true hot rod with traditional suspension that they have. Also, some have like that middle leaf spring right in the middle. Not going to be that. It's just going to be something I'm going to put together, see if I can actually make that engine work. And then I'll just muck around with it. Now onto the motor side, and what this whole video is, and showing you where I'm progressed. You can see that I've got the motor mounted in this nice box tubing. I think it's 20 by 10 by 2mm thick aluminium tubing. I got the spacing as I want it. Everything is looking good. There's still a belt that's got to run around here. Now Johnny Q90 is fabricated. I saw it, I wanted to do that as well. Put a small little starter motor in here, a little brusher system, but I just don't have that tooling. I so want to get a little lathe machine and all that kind of stuff. I'd love to be able to do that myself. So he has it up there. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to have the original one that came with it, like a little jack shaft, have the belt come off here, and then have another one like a shaft running here with the motor kind of sitting on the side just over here, spooling up the motor when you need to start it, because it's got a one-way bearing in there. Pretty normal nitro motor stuff. If you know about those, you know what I'm talking about. But so that's where I'm at so far. And the gearbox, it's going to sit roughly around about there. You would have seen that with my FS100 builds. It's a Revo 3.3 transmission. I'm using that because it's got 2 speeds forwards and reverse. It also has a brake as well, all in a nice little setup, and that's going to mate up to the rear differential there. So that's kind of, I guess you call it the easy part. The hard part is getting a clutch belt on this motor, because when you get the motor, this is what you get. If I could just put the camera down so I can show you, makes it a little bit easier, 2 hands. So roughly, you need to get a clutch belt on these motors, right? Anyone knows that with a nitro motor. It spins there when the clutch centrifugal force, it expands and grabs a clutch belt. That obviously in turn, pinion hits the spurgy and gives you drive. Now, when you get the motor from Toyan, this is how you receive it, and you need to fabricate your own. So like I said in the beginning, you would have seen Johnny Q90's one. He actually made a kind of different technique. I haven't seen it before. He's actually got like a gear directly off here. Normally you have the clutch like that, but he has I think it's a bevel gear. So when you get this, you can unscrew this bad boy off. Now it's very heavy too. This whole system is the flywheel and the pulley for the starter motor. So that's what you get. Now you can see it's a one-way bearing and it's keyed. So if you want to take this off, that was the key, but that's the one-way bearing. No one's seen that before. Can't spin that way, but it freely can spin that way. So that's your flywheel. Now a normal flywheel, there's one on there, but this is another one, what I prepared earlier. So that's sitting in like that, for example. You see on this flywheel, it has these 2 pins. Now those pins are where you slide your clutch shoes on there. Some might be different, but this is a dual clutch system, dual centrifugal clutch. Yeah, so one goes there, one goes there, and it spins out like that. And then your clutch belt goes over the top, just like that. So I need to fabricate one of those up. So obviously you need to drill some holes in here. And you have to be very accurate because it's spinning extremely high RPM. You need to drill holes and tap these small what you could call rods in there to hold the clutch belt. So that's one part, because I like to use this because I think if you go lighter, it might change the RPM, or it might not idle as well, because they are heavy, and it'll help with low RPM and give you that low RPM and just won't stall out. So I want to use this. So I need to drill out 2 holes in here, punch some little pins in there to hold it. Now that's step 1. The next step is, if you see on these motors, some of you might not have seen this, but let's just open her up, because a lot of people are asking what's happening with this and what's the hold up and all that kind of stuff. Well, I have a normal job as well, and I've got other things as well, and I want to try and get this going. So there's a clutch setup. That's what I was talking about. As you can see, that's where the pin, and it opens up like that. Now remember this pass I showed you before, that is this piece here, and what that does, it threads into this main, well, this is connected to the crankshaft, it threads into there, and that's what holds everything together. So once that's on there, I need this drilled out a little bit, and to be able to accommodate this, I'm not too sure what that's called, pilot shaft, I'm not too sure. So that's got to go on there, and then, you know, everything it should be okay. It should be able to sit upon here just like that, and that should be able to give me drive. So that's what I got to do. Drill 2 holes in here, make this a little bit wider, and so I can thread this guy onto here. And actually, I have to make this a little bit. This diameter is too small. I need to make it a bit wider, and also re-tap it, because the one that comes with the kit fits on the stock one, but this one is just I think I had from an associate car. That's got to go onto there. So that's the biggest issue, guys. So that's the hold up. That's where I've been at. When you buy, like I said, the FS100s, they're pretty much ready to rock and roll. You can kind of get everything ready and pretty easily get it up and going, but not with this guy. But I guess that's part of the fun. And these ones, well, you can see have the starter motor and everything is included all in one neat little package. Now that's the same motor I think that Johnny Q90 used. He's kind of stuffed it up in there, which if I could, I'd like to, but you wouldn't be able to really use this massive pulley. There's a smaller one on these motors, which I think would be okay, and I think that little brushless motor would be able to turn that no problem at all. So there's a dilemma, and you can see that this flywheel is kind of custom for this particular setup. Now, what you heard drop before was like a little keyway, and that keyway goes on top in there, and it matches up just in there, so it can't spin. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So that's going to go in there, and hopefully once that's all set up, it should be okay. So quick video. I just wanted to show you guys where I'm at. Not a lot of people thought maybe I've just forgot about it. I don't want to do it. I do want to do it, but you can see it needs some custom machining, and I need to get Johnny Q90 or Johnny Q90, Johnny Crash. You would have seen him in the other videos with the MTXL. He can fabricate something up for me here, because yeah, I can't just do that on a hand drill. I need to drill 2 holes, tap some of these in here, probably with like a compression fit, just force it down in there, and that'll be that part. Widen this hole up, and then also this needs to be wide as well, and re-tapped as well to mate with the crankshaft in there. Yeah, that's where I'm at. So what do you think about this setup? I think it might work pretty well. I'm just eyeballing the distance. This is too far, obviously. It's got to be cut down a few inches. I've just left it a bit longer so I can cut down, you know, it's never too long, I guess, in inches, but I need to cut this down, and then once I figure out the exact distance, because it's a where is my, here it is, it's a telescopic drive shaft. This is from a Revo, and I'll just figure out exact distance, and at least you can move it in or out a little bit, as long as you've got about 10 mil play on here, it should be fine. So that's okay. Once that's sorted, it should be alright. And I'm going just by eye with, I think I might run the 1/8 scale Proline rat rod body. You know, I've got to cut the front off, because on the rat rod body it's got a plastic engine, fake engine. I need to cut that off at the firewall, and I think that's roughly where it's going to be. So yeah, just have a think, like, you know, use your imagination a bit and think, okay, if you put that there, slide that a little bit closer, put that rat body, it kind of should resemble kind of a modern day take on a hot rod. Well, that's what I'm going at anyway, and I'm sticking with it, because I tried to fit it in everything else. I even tried to think of maybe put it in the X-Max. Tried to think, oh, can I fit it in the UDR? I can't. There's just too much cutting. It'd be half the chassis gone. Couldn't fit in the 6x6. People say put it in a tank. Tanks are cool, but don't forget you need a certain transmission, and it's going to get hot as shit in there because there's no airflow. I thought about that guy there, but the motor's clocked the other way, so it'd be too hard. And other crawlers and stuff, but it's just too big. Maybe in this guy, it's a 1/5. Check out the size of that bad boy. There's my hand, for example. Anyway, I've got to show that in future videos. It's all ready to go. Converted to brushless setup. That's the Roven by, if anyone's interested. But there we go, guys. So I didn't want to leave you in the dark. And that's where I'm at. There is progression, but I have other things to do as well. Like I said, I've got to bloody work. Full-time job. I've got to pay for all these things, and I've got other projects like other RC stuff as well. So if you haven't, please subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it around. It gives you know, it shares the love. It gets other people, maybe people want to try this as well, and they might want to check that motor out, and you know, whatever. If you like it, happy days. I'll leave the link in the description for the single cylinder and that V4, and you know, that's what part of I think my opinion, RC should all about having fun, try new things, and just, if it makes you smile, then happy days. There's no right or wrong, just give it a go. You never know until you try. So on that bombshell, that's me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.